railroads in Russia are much more important than they are in the U.S. You've got 11 time zones. You don't have a lot of highways. You've got to move troops. You've got to move equipment. Railroads do that. In this business, you needed to have the ministry as your partner or you will not survive. We did manage to bring in the Finns that I had opened up our shops to, and they became one of the representatives on the board of directors, and they were great partners. And like the Russians, they love to drink. We called it Soviet Finnish American Transport, or Sfat. And if you saw our cars in Russia, you'd see these immense cars with a white exterior cover and the letters in not in Cyrillic, but in English, SFAT along the side. A lot of people knew that that was different than the Ministry of Railroads. But the idea was simple. Convection would solve the problem. And we did improve the productivity of that fleet rather remarkable. But first we had to get the money to retrofit those cars. Now at the time, the United States was beginning to introduce enterprise funds all over the former Warsaw Pact countries. There were 18 Warsaw Pact countries. The U.S. government put a lot of dough in to try and help them migrate to market economies. And the one that was in the Soviet Union was the U.S. Russia Investment Fund. Well, I approached them about getting the money to do the retrofit. They couldn't avoid stumbling on their tie, so I gave up. But one of my directors was a Viennese banker with Creditanstalt Bank in Vienna. And he said, Steve, I know the number 2 guy at the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development, and I'm going to do the introduction. So I met him. He loved the idea. I had a meeting with them in London. They also liked the idea. And they loaned us $42 million to retrofit those cars. And after we got them retrofitted and we were in business, we were making a lot of money by Western standards. We were making 30% profit on revenue. I mean, it's hard to think of an industrial company in the United States that gets those margins. It's also impossible to think of a transportation company that does so well. And it was known that we were making a good deal of money, which made life even more interesting